I'm Tom, 33 years old, working as a marketing manager at a property consultancy. I had been married to my wife Angela, 29 years old, for 4 years. Before finally getting married, we continued our relationship for 2 years. So I can say that we had been together for almost more than 6 years. We met each other through my friend. At that time, she was looking for an apartment to live in. One night, my friend called and requested that his cousin is looking for an affordable residence. So he wanted me to suggest some place safe. He also told me that he was giving my address to his cousin and she would visit at my office in the morning. I said, okay, I'll help her out. In the morning, as I was busy with my work, some girl came to my office and told me about her cousin. I recognized her right away, so I gave her some addresses to decide for herself, and then I would rent out that place for her. As soon as she decided and told me her place of choice, I immediately finalized the paperwork and then moved to the apartment. Days passed and I had nothing in mind about her. One day my friend came to my office and asked to cover over for lunch at her cousin's place. I was a bit reluctant to go over there, but somehow he persuaded me. Besides, I had never met her. Her name was Angela, as my friend told me again, so I was a bit shy. At night, I got ready and went to my friend's home. We both then drove off to Angela's apartment. As we all sat at the table for dinner, I could feel the aroma of closeness to each other. It seemed like we two knew each other for a very long time. Although this was my second meeting with her, we both enjoyed that night like old friends. Feeling all of the sights and sounds, I couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement and possibility in the air. As time passed, we both noticed each other out of the corner of our eyes. I couldn't help but be drawn to her bright, sparkling eyes and her radiant smile. As we looked face to face, we both felt a sudden electric spark of attention and connection. From that day on, we were inseparable. We would spend most of our evenings together, and we knew that our lives had been forever changed by that dinner night encounter. So now we were the best of friends, and as they passed, our friendship deepened into something even stronger and more meaningful. I was a warm summer evening and the sun was beginning to set over the horizon as I and Angela sat down to dinner at our favorite outdoor cafe. We had been friends for 8 months, and on that day, we were catching up over a delicious meal. As we chatted and laughed, I couldn't help but notice the way the soft evening light seemed to dance in her hair and the way her sparkling eyes were shining with excitement and joy. I had always thought her as a close friend, but as the evening went on, I started to realize that my feelings for her were much deeper than I had ever realized. As the evening was about to end, I couldn't shake the feeling that something special had passed between us. As we walked home under the stars, we finally confessed our love for one another, and we were grateful for every moment we had spent in each other's company. Our life was going very well, and we never came across any argument or fight because we always shared each other's problems in space. My friend and Angela often visited my apartment, and we would sit and chat most of the night. It was just another normal Saturday evening. My girlfriend and I were having dinner at our favorite Italian restaurant. At that time, we had been dating for over a year and things had been going well until tonight. As we waited for our food to be served, we started talking about our plans for the weekend. She had been planning to go to the concert on Sunday, but I already had made plans to go with my colleagues. I can't believe you're choosing to go with colleagues over spending time with me, she said, feeling hurt and disappointed. I told you about this a few days ago, I replied while trying to remain calm. I cannot cancel this now as I had promised to my colleagues. You always put your colleagues before me, she said, her voice getting louder. It seemed very strange to me the way she was reacting. I don't know, because it didn't happen at all during our time together. Yet I wanted to resolve the issue on the spot because she was very dear to me. I went to sit next to her and squeezed her hand. I understand your wish. Let's make a plan the next weekend. We'll do something special, just the two of us. Angela smiled and nodded, seeming to feel a little bit better. I knew that relationships had ups and downs, and it was important to communicate and work through any issues. Amidst lovely moments, we had to bear and face some undesirable times too. So times went on with its full term. I had already decided to get married to Angela because it was the right time to do so. In my heart, I couldn't find a better partner other than her. That's why I wanted to propose to her on that day. It was a beautiful sunny day and we both were enjoying our time in the park. It's been 2 years together and we had been through so much together. As we were sitting on the grass and surrounded by flowers, I reached into my pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. She looked at me with tears in her eyes as I opened the box to present with a ring. "I cannot think of spending my life with anyone else. Will you marry me?" I said while my voice was shaking with emotions. She just threw her arms around my neck and whispered near my ears, "Yes, I will marry you." Then we both hugged and kissed. Over the next 2 months, we worked together for a perfect wedding. After choosing a beautiful venue, we invited all of our friends to our marriage. We were ready to start our new journey together. Now we had been married for about 2 years and we were happy together. We had always been open and honest with each other, but then it was a Friday evening and I had just gotten home from work. I was just tired and hungry and was looking forward to have dinner with my wife. As I was about to enter the guest room, I listened to my wife chatting and laughing together with his cousin, which was also my friend. I knew that she had always been honest with me about her past, but seeing her so friendly with her cousin made me feel a little uncomfortable. At first, I tried not to intervene because she might think badly of me, but I couldn't take it anymore. I excused myself to go for a change, and I came back. They still were in deep conversation. I felt my irritation boil over. "Angela, can I talk to you for a second alone?" I said while keeping my voice normal. She looked surprised but came with me and then said, "Sure, what's up?" "I am feeling a little uncomfortable watching you so close to your cousin," I said. "I trust you, but it's just hard for me to see." "I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was bothering you. I'll be more cautious in the future," she said. I felt a wave of relief. I was grateful that she was understanding and willing to work with me to make things better. Days passed and her cousin also got married to her colleague. We both were there to be part of their memorable day. They both often came to our house many times and we all enjoyed beautiful nights together. I often came across seeing my wife and her cousin looking at each other like they were engaged in some matter, but I ignored everything and cursed myself to think like that about my wife. But the next morning, an argument started began. I was trying to relax on a couch and watch television while my wife was busy cleaning the house. I had been overwhelmed with work and just wanted to have a quiet morning. She also asked me to help her clear, but I refused, saying that I was tired and needed some time for myself. I don't know what happened, but suddenly she started accusing me of being lazy and not caring about our home. So, feeling defensive, I snapped back at her. The argument escalated. We both, Angela and I, started saying hurtful things to each other. Eventually, I stormed out of the room, slamming the door behind her. My wife was left alone standing in the living room. In the evening, cooled down and realized that I maybe had overreacted. So I apologized for my words and actions. The very next evening, we both were sitting in our beds and watching a movie. As we watched the movie, I started to feel a little annoyed. My wife was constantly checking her phone and it was ruining the enjoyment of the film. "Angela, could you please put your phone away?" I said. I couldn't watch a movie like this. She refused to accept what I was saying. "Every 5 minutes you're looking at your phone. Have you started an online business? It's annoying," I said defensively. She turned towards me. "You are being so much ridiculous. I'm just checking to see if I have any important." So after her saying that I did not utter a word, I just switched off the TV and tried to get some sleep. After this night, we did not talk for about 1 week. She also was not in the mood to cool down the tension between us, like it did not even bother her. This palpable tension in the air was not going anywhere. We would sit across from each other at the kitchen table. We had not spoken in days. That's because of a heated argument a few days earlier, and now we were trapped in silence. I couldn't believe that things had gotten so out of hand. I was feeling hurt and angry. I just wanted to retreat into my own space and move on. As the days went by and the silence between us stretched on, I started to worry that our relationship might be irreparable now. I knew that I had to do something and fix things between us, but I wasn't sure where to start. Finally, I had to gather my courage and approach her because she did not bother much with this fight. It seemed like she was relieved without me in her life. I would listen to her talking to her cousin and would chat and laugh for hours with him. My place in her life was nowhere to find. How can she do this bullshit thing to me? Yet I hoped to make things better with her. Still, 3 weeks had passed and no talk happened. One day as I came back from work, she was busy in the kitchen. As I walked into the bedroom, I saw her phone on the sofa. Without thinking, I picked it up and glanced at the screen. That's when I saw the message from her cousin. It was filled with love and hearts. I couldn't feel that my heart was going to sink. I couldn't believe what I was saying. I also had seen pictures of their intimate moments together in my bedroom. After seeing all of this, I was sitting down on the bed, feeling numb and confused. I had always trusted this woman and had never thought that she would cheat on me, but the evidence was right in front of me. I did not know what to do because I felt like my entire world was falling apart. I thought about confronting her, but I wanted to catch her red-handed. Then I would tell the wife of her cousin about their affair. When she got home, I tried to act normal, but I couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal that was weighing on me. We had dinner, but I couldn't focus on eating. All I could think was the message on her phone. This was the time to make amends in my life. I couldn't carry the burden of my cheating wife whole life. Would I ever be able to love her again? On her phone, I also saw that they had planned to meet again 2 days after tomorrow at my house. So then I will take revenge on a POS friend of mine and my wife. I lived those 3 days of my life in agony and pain. As I knew they would be meeting at my house, I got back early from work. Without making any noise, I went straight towards my bedroom because I could hear them talk and laugh. When I entered the room, they were sitting on the bed with arms together and enjoying those moments. As they looked at me, both were pale-faced. Before they could say anything, I called the wife of her cousin on Facetime to show her the reality of her husband. When she received the call, I told her that I wanted to tell her about her husband's affair. Before I could show her anything, she told me that they both had been divorced for 4 months and she did not want to listen to anything about him. APS, he was a cheat. I told them to leave my house immediately and never come back in their entire life. As they were gone, I sat there on the bed feeling the disloyalty and loneliness in the atmosphere.